Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Chordjam by Audio Modern and Cubasis and how they work beautifully together. Right, okay, so what we're going to do first of all is add a MIDI track. I'm going to go and find something from Magellan Sonic and let me find this here, the keyboard category, and I want to use this aged suitcase sound. Very nice. And the next thing we're going to do is in our Midia Effects section here, because this is where you'll use Chordjam like any other MIDI effect. We shall tap to add effect. I will go and find Chordjam, which should be just here. There it is. And add that in. Right. Let's just make that full screen for now. And I'm going to go into the presets here and scroll on down till I find the one I want to use. Now you can use any of these for this, but I was playing around with this one and it just sounds really great. So I'm going to double tap it to load it. And what will happen now, when I press play, Chordjam will play our piano for us. And you'll see that I have set up a loop. Let's make it half screen. Now I just really like that, I do. But what's cool here, of course, is we can make adjustments to velocity. You can see there's different velocity settings being applied as the thing tracks along. But let's do something else. Let's close that one. Let's just duplicate this whole thing now, right? And I'm going to duplicate it one more time. So I'm just going to mute this one. I'm going to go into this one here, and it will play exactly the same thing. So it'll just sound louder. Okay, so first of all, we can go in and change that sound up, of course. So let's mute this for now, so we're only hearing our second one. Let's open Chordjam. Let's open it full screen. Sorry, not Chordjam. What am I doing? I want to do something. Oh, yeah, while we're here, I'll just change this to time. Brilliant. So now I've made some changes, but it's still the same chords, right? Super easy. I will close this one down a minute and also change the sound up here for our instrument. So let's go to our list. We could use make some changes to that. Let's set some panning up. Unmute this one. On this one, I'm going to engage our channel strip effect so it's a bit louder. Very cool. It gets cooler than this. It really does get really good. Right, so very nice. So next I am going to mute this one, and unmute this one. And again, it'll just be what this originally was. So let's go in and change the sound again for the start off, so we're keeping things of some interest. And maybe we'll pick a different type of instrument. Maybe, I don't know, a synth lead. Who knows what this will sound like? Let's just see. I like that. Let's just have more of the brass lead. But now we can go into our MIDI effects for this channel, Chordjam, and we can start changing things up. Right, so we could go into and that's going to slow it down. But what we can do is we can choose any of these, and you'll notice everything will change, right? You'll different velocity settings, but I could say choose this G minor one and have that be an ARP, and I could have it go up and down, and we'll leave the rate at 116. And I go to this C minor and change it to an ARP, and we'll have it go, we add it down and up, then we'll have it go up and down. So just keep going along, ARP, and change the ARP up and stuff like this. We'll have that go maybe random, and we'll, I don't know, for this one particularly, change it to 1.8. The idea is that you can just go in and play around with all this stuff and make tons of adjustments to all sorts of things like velocity, the voicing, etc., etc. But let's see what that sounds like now. Let's change this one to an ARP as well and have that at 1.8. Maybe this one, we'll change it to an ARP, have it did like a trill thing. It's very cool. Now we can change the octaves, because it's more like a lead, so that's going to be better. That's a bit quick, isn't it, to be fair? That's better. Okay, cool bananas. Awesome stuff. Now, if you want to, you could add something else. So we could say, okay, let's just duplicate this for the kickoff because it's close to what we already want, or what I already want, right? So I'm just going to duplicate that channel, and now we'll have exactly the same thing on this channel. So if I just make solo this one, right? Let me just solo my mic as well. Right, okay, so now we're just going to hear this, which is the same, right? So I'm going to change the sound for the start off for this one. Let's see. I'm going to pick a bass sound. I am going to start with something like this. So, I don't know. Synth bass I want, don't I? Maybe. I think let's try something from FM Classics. Okay, right. Without going nuts, let's do that. And go into Chordjam. I'm going to switch. Let me just stop that a second. I'm going to make sure that everything is just set to time here. I'll do a little cut here while I'm doing this, and time. And this one, I'm going to put the octave back to normal for now. So let's just play that. Okay, right now, what I want to do is, you see we have our voices here. So I just want this one bass voice on these, right? So I'm just going to go through and swap all these. Now I will do an edit here while I'm doing this because this is super boring for you guys. Okay, so I've just gone through and changed all these to just one single note. Now you could choose any of these and add in one extra note an octave above, or do some edits with ARPs and things like this just to make the bass line a bit more fancy. But the result is now I've got a bass line. Now I don't need to really drop this down another octave. That would be too low, so I'm just going to stay with that one. Make some adjustments to the volume, which is this. I'll just give it some, let's go perfect. Now, of course, you can change the sound if you want. Let's see what happens. Once we unsolo all this stuff. Okay, now for the super cool part, we can record. This is one of the genius things. This is one of the brilliant things about Cubasis and your Midia effects. We can record all that MIDI in. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm going to switch off loop because once all this stuff goes round and comes back, I don't want it to start doubling up notes and stuff like that. All we need to do this is we need to set up a few things, right? It's really easy. On our MIDI effects. Now, once I select MIDI effects on channel 2, it's going to be selected on 3, 4, and 5. See, everything changes. So that's cool. So we can go into Chordjam. I'm going to switch record to track on. This is the most important thing. Record to track, right? And this is, like I said, one of the genius things about Cubasis, the ability to record all your MIDI effects. Record to track. And again, record to track. And on the last one, our bass, we can just go in and record to track, right? So awesome stuff. Everything is now set to record to track. We arm record on everything we want to record, right? And then all we need to do now is hit record and all our MIDI data will get recorded in, right? So watch. And when you've finished, make sure you stop it, right? Was I on it there? Oh, not quite. Doesn't matter because I can just grab hold of one of these because they're all selected and just move them off to the end there, right? So it's all going to be right. Stopped it a bit early, right? Doesn't really matter, right? It's going to zoom back in here. All right. So here's our MIDI. Now, this is super important. We can switch off on all of those for the starter. This is important now. You need to turn, let's start at this, well, I can go backwards. You need to switch Chordjam off because if you don't, because it's a MIDI effect, as soon as you press play, it's going to start playing the sequence again, right? And it would just sound terrible. It would just be a cacophonous mess. But now, when I press play, of course, it's just going to play our instruments in a minute. In fact, if you wanted to, you can completely take Chordjam out the mix now. It's not going to affect this at all. So. And you can make any adjustments you like to your MIDI. which also means you can just go in and change the sounds up. So you could, if we put this on loop, it's just going to continually play round and round. So we can change a few sounds up, right? Completely different type of sound if you want to, of course. Anyway, there is the G, and you can then, of course, go in and edit any of this MIDI. It's so cool being able to record the MIDI in super easy. So we looked at Chordjam. Just out of interest, I used Cinematic 3. You can use any of these, the same technique, just making sure that you copy the first initial one you choose when you're adding instruments in. And then, of course, you can move on to another section completely and change it up. You could say, well, okay, I like the idea. So say, for example, I don't know, just as a quick thing, let's just move this along. Sec. I'll just move this to here, make sure loop is on. Now it's just looping this section. So if I turn Chordjam back on now, I'll turn it back on for this. I'll go to our suitcase thing, right? So it's playing the same sequence. Let's do it over its 8 bars. Just for fun. You could go into Chordjam now and you could say, well, okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to transpose it, and then you could just carry on with the copy paste thing. So for example, if I wanted to record that in now, all I literally need to do is hit record. Don't worry about the cacophonous mess. Right, so switch Chordjam off. Let's go to say here. This is now going to transpose. Yeah, actually, let's solo this. Solo my mic channel. You'll hear it much better now. You'll hear the actual transposition. Awesome. There you go. How brilliant is that? Using Chordjam to set up multiple instances with different instruments and then just have it all record to track. And it's golden. I love it. I think it's awesome. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll loop this bit here. I'll play that out while, just you have a listen to it again. It's awesome. Great stuff. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.